I am live on. I'll wait till I see it's going. Oh, it is going. Wow. Okay, that's professional. Hello there. Welcome to Modern Doom Speedrunning Twitch channel. Hi, I'm Rytro. But today we have a special guest. We have not the fake, not the legislative real. We have the actually real Paisano.
I
Who will
sometimes get confused with the metaphysical paisano as well.
yes. I'm honestly not sure if they're even streaming right now or is this all just an illusion. But we're here for now and it's real. Who will be showing us how to do any percent unrestricted. So, Paisano, just take it away. Start doing things.
All right, so first you start. Here's a slope boost. All right, cool. We got that. Let me just reset mission here, and we'll just start with the first segment of the run where we get sticky bombs. So first, game starts out. Kill these three zombies with your base fire the combat shotgun. Listen to Vega talk at you. Our first destination is just getting sticky bombs right on the other side of this wall here. So from here, sometimes you want to kill this zombie because he'll just damage you, and he's very annoying. But you basically just walk a straight line here, grab the chainsaw, and now we have the first skip of the game, box skip. This one's a little tricky. It's kind of a lot of resets in the run, getting box skip. And this is, I'm pretty sure, in like every single run of the game. But what you want to do is sort of strafe diagonally and hit the corner of the box right here. And what I like to do is aim like right here on the box, angled a little bit inwards. And what this is going to do is do a homing punch all the way up here, and you're going to mantle onto that ledge. Of course I miss it there, but if all goes well, you just hit that. This is one of those things where it makes zero sense initially, and then all of a sudden you have it right, and it goes really well for like a stream. And then you come back to it another day, and it just doesn't work again. But one thing to really remember is that there's sort of two versions of this that you could go for. There's a version that I'm doing right now, whoops, where I'm hitting that ledge there, and that's the fastest. Notice that I'm not hitting my head here. Slightly easier, you could grab onto this wood. A little bit more inconsistent, but the movement is a little easier. See, it's a little more inconsistent because you can just not get the mantle. But this is a little bit closer to you, and it's a little bit easier to actually, you know, just get the mantle on when you get the mantle. The other thing with this one is that the elevation on this piece of wood here is slightly lower here. You can't just walk forward. You have to do a bit of a jump here, which is what makes this a tiny bit slower than just mantling onto here. Yeah, that's box skip. The best trick of the run, definitely don't at me. So now we're gonna grab sticky bombs and immediately load checkpoint. So as soon as the screen starts fading, you can just press escape. And from here, notice that there's no load checkpoint button. You're gonna wanna exit the main menu. The inputs here, you're gonna be on resume automatically. It's gonna be up, space, left, space. Now at the main menu. Now you could completely bypass the main menu by just holding down spacebar. I didn't do it there, but if you just, you know, escape, up, left, space, left, space, and on that last space you just hold down space, you will just go immediately back into here. Alright, so now that we're back here through the store, walk through the door. For consistency, I like to sticky bomb this guy, because he'll, especially on 250 FPS, he'll just lunge at you and just ruin your day. Sometimes this guy too, if he's got a meme look on his face. And we're gonna do the first slope boost of the run here now. Now, I guess I'm just assuming that you already have your bind set up and stuff. But you can see my input overlay. I have scroll wheel. You want to stand on this staircase, sort of not hugging the wall, but slightly less against the wall, and you go right through the ceiling. There's a hole right through the ceiling there. And what I'm doing is I'm just scrolling. If you're familiar with Doom 2016 or whatever, this is just, you know, just a scroll jump. You could also tap your free scroll macro key, although this one, if you tap it for too short, then sometimes you could just like not get nearly enough inputs. Now the reason why you don't want to be hugging the wall is these things here. You can get stuck on right there. And you don't want to hit those, because then you just don't get out of bounds. Alright, so now that we're out of bounds, via the slope boost, you're going to go forward until you see this like black bar here. Now we're going to set up the, what I like to call the Hell on Earth giga boost. It's going to send us all the way to the end of the level, which is right about in that direction. Now this is not a standard slope boost, this is a stuck boost. And the way that I like to set it up is, I'm right next to this black bar here. I do a single space input. I have that bound to B. You can see I have a jump on scroll down, as well as single jump on B, because my macro key is my spacebar. Now, when you do this single jump here, you're going to notice that I get pulled to the left a little bit. This is the curvature of the geometry here, just kind of like pulling you into the jump extension. It's a little weird, but it happens on like nearly every surface. Just going to tap A. Now we're looking at here. What you really want to be looking for here is this black line here. This is a setup that I like to use, and as long as I see this black line, usually this is going to work. So what you're going to do now, hold down weapon wheel. I'm going to save location here. Hold down weapon wheel, and now I'm holding W and D together. And then hold down macro for a little bit. Of course it didn't work there. But, yep. W and D. There, now it should work. Weapon wheel. And boom. That is our first stuck boost. Now the movement here, remember that the end of the level trigger is all the way back there. But this stuck boost, it's conglomerating all of these jump inputs into one big giga boost. And it's going to send us right about in that direction. We're going to need to do a 180 in midair. But remember that we don't have air control. So we need to kind of slow our strafing a little bit so that we maintain our speed. And this is, it's hard to explain the movement, but I'll do it right here. Immediately 180. And boom. Got a no clip here. So now I'm here. This is right about the right direction here. And it's a pretty good height. What I like to do to make sure that I'm in the right direction, that I didn't turn too much or too little, is I look at these gears here. Notice that right now they're sort of at like a slight diagonal, a little bit more extreme of an angle than the angle of the health bars there. You can see that health bars are like little rhombuses there. That's sort of what I'm looking for the correct angle here. The other thing that you could use as a visual indicator while you're in midair is this stuff here. These are not exactly, but essentially pointing in the direction of the, like these like ruined roads that you can see in the distance. Essentially pointing in the right direction. You could use those as your bearings while you're in the void here. But yeah, once you're flying through the void, Now we see our destination. So what I like to do to make sure that I land right at the ending button here, usually I'll be right here. I back up so I can see a little bit more of the geometry. Yeah, there it is. At some point, it depends on your mouse angle and your exact position, but you can see that sort of triangle-shaped looking thing there. You want that to be on the left, or not the left, the right. Basically exactly how I'm pointing here. And this straight line that I'm taking here, pretty good aligned with the button here. Now notice that there is no actual button. This is just, you know, visual glitch. There is the button there. As you can see, the use key does work. And if you do that, you should land right at the button. Remember to use S while in midair to, you know, break the boost if you need to, or whatever. Sometimes you'll land on this. That's okay. Just make sure you fall down and you're lined straight at the button. Now from here, we have sticky bombs. We could just end the level, skip cutscene, and boom. And that's Hell on Earth in any percent done. Now that stuck boost can be a bit tricky to set up. It's a little bit weird. It can sometimes just throw you out. It's okay. It's the first 30 seconds of the run. Stuck boosts are weird, and we don't entirely they're not entirely like 100% consistent, but should be consistent enough. Now, Fortress of Doom. Now, first, our destination is here. You want to get the flame belch? You can just walk right over, jump. Or you can try to be a little bit fancy. There's a bit of a jump extension here that you can do a scroll jump off of. And this will actually bonk you, or usually it will bonk you off of here. I've been doing this in runs lately. That's pretty nice. Get a bit of a speed boost. Nice, tidy little time save. Probably less than a second, but, you know, it's nice. Go tell your friends. Now for this, if you ever watch Hundo runners or anything, you know that they'll swap weapons to skip the animation here. We actually do not have the heavy cannon yet. We do not have a weapon to swap to. However, since we're on 1.0 version of the game, tap the weapon wheel button, and you'll bring out the chainsaw, pretty Doom 2016 style. And using this, tap the weapon wheel, and you skip the animation for the flame belch. This is a 1.0 exclusive little thing. Now from there, our next destination is here. Grab ammo from the crystal. And end of the fortress. Easy. Now Exultia. This is the best level in any percent. I'm joking. This is actually the worst level in any percent. However, it's okay. We'll get through it. Now first, there's two sort of routes that you can do for Exultia in the beginning. First, and this is what I recommend for anyone just starting out in the run, go over here, just kind of fall down and grab this extra life. This is going to be very useful in two places. Doom Hunter Base for the boss fight, and if you don't use it in Doom Hunter Base, use it in the beginning of Art Complex. Both of those combat encounters can get kind of hairy. If you're not grabbing the extra life, because the extra life is going to lose you some time if you do it. Let me align my mouse here. There's some good movement here that you can do. So, what I'm really looking for is this line reaching the bottom of my screen. Now this lineup, this is sort of specific to my FOV, which unfortunately is weird. 114. However, I know that there is a lineup for 90 FOV. If you're using 90, there's also one for 120. You just want to look at, I believe it was either this line or this line for another one. But basically, as soon as one of these lines crosses the bottom of my screen, I'm going to hold down macro and then scroll jump. And what it should do is I'll be in the jump extension here, and I'll get a super jump and land right there. Didn't work, of course. LOL. There it is. It is a little precise, and if you don't get it, if you're slightly too early, then that's whatever. What you do if you're slightly too early, you just want to grab this wall, and boom, you're not going to lose much time. That's just a slight little optimization. Now from here, oh, hello zombie. These zombies are kind of annoying when you're trying to grab the heavy cannon. Their position is weird. They just kind of wander around. Blow up that barrel. You're gonna love your life by blowing up that barrel, so that the zombies don't ruin your day. Grab the heavy cannon. And now we're gonna start this combat encounter. Now, I'm going to do this fast initially, then I'm going to do it slow and explain things. By slow, I mean I'm going to enable some time slowing. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Heavy cannon. Oops. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Yeah, that was bad. Base fire, heavy cannon, and the Kako should die, but he didn't that time. I'm gonna explain this a little bit slower because it's a little bit weirder of an encounter, and it's very different from like any other like combat in the game, since you're just kind of, it's highly choreographed with the heavy cannon stuff like that. So there's a time slowing enabled here. Yeah. So we're first going to pre-fire this gargoyle. He's spawning there. Pre-fire the imp. Okay, the time slowing is a little weird, but that sticky bomb, if you time it better, then the sticky bomb should kill the imp. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Got the heavy cannon. Maybe the time slowing is affecting the AI or something. It's weird. Sticky, sticky, sticky. This guy will spawn right here. Hit him with the base fire. Now walk over here, and this is important. You want to be right here. You want to be standing right in that location that I was just in. Because in this location, the Kako will pathfind to you in a weird way. I want to... Is this going to... Okay, it's not going to give me the checkpoint. That's good. If you're standing in that location, right here, the Kako is going to pathfind you in a weird way, and he's going to just stay up there, and the game thinks that he's out of bounds. So the game just kills him. So you don't actually need to fight that Kako, which is very nice. Get my time slowing down. Okay, there we go. Damn. Now if the Kako doesn't die, because the position can be a little bit tricky, glory kill, it's whatever. Now from here, there's a few things that you can do. This guy, his name is Joseph. He's got a big, mean look on his face, and he's, if you're on the ground and you, right now I have no target on. If you're on the ground, he's going to ruin your day. So let's stay in the air. We're in this position from killing the Kako due to out of bounds. What you can do is, as the doors are opening, charge a bunny hop by slope boosting off of that. And what I'm doing is just tapping macro as I'm in the jump extension for this. And then once I hit the ground, I just do a scroll jump, and it'll usually give me the bunny hop. If you don't want to rely on bunny hops, there's another good thing that you can do here. Go in the back here, and what we're going to do is do a little tap of the weapon wheel and a tap of the macro. And this geometry here is going to send us flying forward. We're going to need to brake in midair. And due to us being in midair, this guy's not going to actually pathfind to us. He'll just kind of be standing there clueless until we hit the ground for the first time. But he's not going to be able to attack us even if we land like right next to him, because it will be speed. We're going too fast. We're speedrunners here. And that's actually the fastest strat, since the bunny hop from the maximum height due to the ceiling, that's going to do the about 21 meters per second, according to my measurements from doing this before. However, this boost, even when you brake, will usually give you 22 or more meters per second. Like that was more speed than the bunny hop will consistently give you. So that's nice. And now, remember that we don't have air control, so you don't really want to like keep bunny hopping, or else you're just going to lose control and fly over here. It's a good movement note. So now that we're at Blood Punch, pick up Blood Punch. Gonna jump, and then bunny hop here. Now there's an important subtlety with the movement here. I'm hitting the... I'm gonna turn on no target so these guys don't annoy me. Yay. So, a bit of a subtlety here, since we don't have air control anymore, or yet, I should say. We don't have air control yet. What you need to do is hit this wall here so that all of your momentum this way is cancelled. And then you're going to turn 90 degrees here and hold W. And the way that bunny hops work is they send you in the direction that you were already going. So if I wasn't going in a direction, I'm not going anywhere. If I just tap W while I'm in midair, oops, didn't work there. You can see there, bunny hop in there. I barely have any speed going forward initially, and then after the bunny hop, it just kind of boom. So that's why you bonk on the wall here to redirect your speed, and then get the bunny hop. Then from here, you don't exactly want to just clean strafe here. You're gonna lose some speed because the angle is a little tight. But what you can do is sort of just let yourself sort of hit the wall just a little bit. And this actually bounces you, sort of. So if you're coming in at, let's say, like a 10-degree angle, you're going to naturally bounce off of this wall at opposite the 10-degree angle. You're coming in like this. It's sort of it's a really good reflection here. And you're barely going to lose any speed to the bonk. And you're going to lose even less speed if you do even shallower angles, which is really nice. So now we grab this, grab the rune. Now immediately, you can see right here below the FPS counter, there's going to be a little saving icon. You're going to watch for that saving icon, and that's when we're going to do an exit to main menu. And hold down spacebar so that we get the fast load checkpoint. Gonna grab this. And boom. Now we have air control. So our next destination is going to be to dash. Dash is going to be... Whoa. Okay, that was weird. Right in this direction, in this building. And what we're going to do is jump down for, you know, some really nice, smooth movement. You can get a bunny hop on here. And you're going to do a scroll jump here. Now we're sort of out of bounds. And you're going to land on this pillar. If you're, you know, looking at the Hell Knight or looking at this door, it's a pillar on the right. And the way that I like to line this up is, see this little L-shaped thing here? be at like the tip of the L, hold down weapon wheel, and then tap A until you're moving down, and then tap macro. And that'll send us in the direction of the dash. And you're going to enter in the back right here. Do that one more time. Now another thing you could do is ledge grab here to the left of the pillar. And you should be in a good spot here. Anything in this sort of general vicinity that I'm kind of moving forward and back here is going to work. And there. Now an important thing to note with this boost, whoops, didn't mean to do that, is that if you're moving even a little bit in midair, as you're moving down in the jump extension, then the boost is going to act a little weirdly. You're going to be sent either in a weird direction, or you're going to hit a ceiling and then all of a sudden you don't have any height. Let me try to demonstrate what happens there. So I'm moving forward there. Oh, of course it works when I don't want it to work. Yeah, there. But if something like that happens, yeah, that's a good example. This happens a lot in runs where you'll hit the ceiling, and then all of a sudden you have no speed and you just kind of sent in a straight line. That's fine. Don't reset. You're gonna be sent sort of flying in this direction at a decent speed, and you're just gonna enter down here. There's a hole in the ceiling here, and you're just gonna enter here. I'm gonna load checkpoint here so that the blender stops moving. That movement there is a backup. Oh, of course. Now I want it to work and it doesn't work. So, if you enter back here, we need to hit these 3 chains, and we're going to go this one, this one, this one. So, punch, do a bit of a macro jump or scroll jump in the jump extension there so that we land here. Punch, another one here, punch, and then now we can grab dash. Now, if the blender is moving, the movement is a little bit different. If say, something went wrong and you enter, if you're entering from this side, if something went wrong with that boost, oh, that's a little funky. Let me show you the movement for that, the backup movement, I should say. So if you enter from the front here, the order of the chains is going to be a little bit different because you're entering from a different location and the blender's moving. What you want to do, grab the base here, do a scroll jump, punch while you're in midair, scroll jump or macro jump here, punch, and then same thing. You can get real cheeky with this movement by getting B-hops like here to here and then just kind of like bouncing everywhere. Looks very nice. So whichever version you do, whether you're doing backup or you're entering from the back there, grab the dash. You're going to do a scroll jump or a macro jump up here. You see this ramp here? You're going to basically just exit the same way you came. Tap macro, and you're going to go in this direction and land here. Now, this is the best boost of the run. There's a few different ways you can do this. I'm going to show you the version that I do, and then a version that will much more consistently get you to the location that you want to go, but it'll give you a lot of height. So this first version that I do, this will give you a good direction most of the time. You'll sometimes fall short, and sometimes you won't. Other times you'll get a god tier boost, and then semi-rarely you'll get sent flying like straight in the air. So what you're gonna do, you're standing here. Now I'm gonna use a lineup that's specific to my FOV, but I'll also show the lineup for 90 FOV. I'm looking for these, you see this little dot here? And there's 2 little dots there. Right at the left side of those 2 little dots is where I'm going to start holding down space. I'm going to whip out weapon wheel. I'm tapping D until I start moving backwards. Now I'm holding W and A. Let go of A. And boom. And that's a really good example of... This is a really good example of a good boost. You're sending in this direction. And you want to land on this big plane here. Doesn't really matter where you land. It's better to land farther forward. But you can land all the way back here and you'll be fine. Just make sure you hold down macro to bunny hop. And what you're going to do here is you're just going to, you know, once you land wherever you land, go all the way over here. And there's a jump extension here. Don't be fooled by the moving textures here. Nothing's actually moving here. In the jump extension, do a bit of a macro jump. You'll hit a death point. And now we're towards the end of the level. Oops. Now, another version of this, so this is sort of like a half-stuck boost. We'll see another one of these in Cultist Base. But the reason why I let go of A, you can see when I let go of A, it's sort of, my view starts getting very bobby. It starts getting a little shaky. Because I'm stuck in one direction, but not in another direction. So that's why that works and gets you a lot of extra inputs to go super far. Now, if that doesn't work very well for you, and it depends on your FPS very much, another thing you can do is, once you're back here, you're going to be looking for this pillar while you're out of bounds. You're just sort of walking here. Let me make sure. Yeah, that should be the right one. Now, I'm rubbing against this thing, and it's acting really weird. I'm getting, like, really weird stuck nonsense here. On the left side, I'm completely stuck here. So what I'm going to do, I'm holding down A and S. Oops. Holding down A and S, and then hold on macro. Oh, it didn't work there. But this is another version of the boost where you can get a lot of height. Here we go. This one. But if you do this well, you'll consistently get the distance that you need. Whoops. Oh, that was the wrong pillar. But you can see here, this is a really big boost. Yeah, I was on the wrong side. A lot of height, so it'll be a little bit slow, but it will very consistently get you to where you need to go. Yeah, it was this one. So I'm here, holding down A and S. Oh, it just didn't give me the booster. This is some nonsense. On the right side. Oh, right. That's my bad. I was on the spot is on the right side, not the left part. That's my bad. So here, whoops. And if you get the actual stuckiness of the boost, that'll send you in the right direction, but it'll give you a lot of height. However, if you do it better than, you can tell that this is not what I do in runs. If you do it better than I do, then this will very consistently get you to the end of the level. Let's do this one more time. You can see that there's these two sort of black lines here. I'm gonna go on the right one. Whoops. Yeah, I didn't get the stuck boost thing there. But the trajectory is really good. And what's happening here is after the stuck boost, you're being bonked on this blender bit here, and it's redirecting your upwards momentum sideways towards the end. So once you have this boost down, I'm just gonna do this one to get over there. Oh yeah, there is another lineup for this that I should show. So I'm on a weird FOV, but if you're on 90 FOV like most people use, then what you're going to want to look at for this is look at this sort of big crack in the ground, and once you're at right around the midpoint of the crack is where you want to start holding down macro. That's pretty good. Let me bring it back to what I'm used to. So again, for this, land here. You can land all the way like up here. One thing that I usually aim for is... Oh, now the textures are reloaded. But there's a, I believe it's this rock here. Aim sort of to the left of the rock to avoid a big ceiling that's overarching here. And the ceiling is sort of slanted, and it's sort of pointing in this direction, which is why I usually aim for the left side here, so I can go farther forward without hitting the ceiling. So once you're here, you're going to do the macro jump. Now we're here, and we're going to slope boost straight from here to the fight. Is my no target? Yeah, my no target is on. That's good. So to do the slope boost, this is a sort of, I like to call it like a momentum slope boost, where rather than going straight up, we're going to be holding a movement key during the boost, and that's going to send us in the direction of that movement. So I'm going to be holding down S plus D during this, and that's going to send me that direction. And then once I get the boost, I look for this sort of like pillar rock thing, and that's the direction that my movement will want to be in backwards. So I'm here, fall into the jump extension, boom, and that'll pretty consistently get you over here, and you can usually want to land on this part here. Now for this fight, I'm gonna do this once with no target, explaining things. So once you're here, you're gonna be coming in here and like a whole like action momentum shot here. I usually like to bunny hop here, grab the quad, sticky bomb the turret here, and fly straight into this portal. Now once you sticky bomb the turret, that's a one hit kill for the guy there. I ran out of quad damage, but I'll still keep explaining this. Once you kill that guy, there's going to be a Revenant spawning here, and a Hell Knight spawning here. You take the portal to kill the Hell Knight. When you have quad damage on, a single sticky headshot will kill him. However, I ran out of quad damage for demonstration, so I'm just going to do this. When you damage him enough, some gargoyles are going to spawn. Can you die? There we go. So for this gargoyle, as soon as he spawns, base fire combat shotgun, that'll consistently kill him. Base fire combat shotgun is bad in this game, however we have quad damage, so it's fine. And then you'll see that gargoyle over there, lava sticky over there, and then dash straight back into the portal. If you did that fast enough, the Revenant's AI should have him pathfinding over here, because AIs in this game will they'll pathfind to where you used to be. We used to be over here when he spawned, because we sticky bomb the turret, and we're here immediately when he spawns. Do this fast enough, he'll be pathfinding to this location. That's good. Now, our public enemy number 1 now is this Cacodemon. This Cacodemon will trigger the final heavy of the fight, which is a spider that'll spawn. They'll jump up to this ledge here. And as soon as that spider dies, the fodder will stop respawning. And that is our ticket to doing this fight fast, is having as little fodder to kill as possible. So to kill this guy, I don't have quad damage on, but to kill him, you just use base fire heavy cannon with quad damage. Now it takes a second for this guy to spawn. What I like to do is, if usually there will be either an imp or a soldier just kind of hanging out here, I'll just, you know, tap them a few times with the quad damage heavy cannon and they'll die. As soon as the spider spawns, you want to kill the spider ASAP. Chop. You could also sticky the turret. Either way, I like to chop him so that the it's not dependent on his movement or whatever. If he immediately starts moving and then I miss the turret or whatever, because he gets a little frantic sometimes. And you also get some ammo, because at this point we could be a little bit low on ammo. Now at this point the Revenant should still be alive, and there should be a few fodder, or quite a few fodder now. We should still have quad damage here. A single quad damage sticky will kill the Revenant, who will be in this location. And then to pick off the fodder, use quad damage heavy cannon and stickies. And everything's good. Let me show you that in real time now. There we go. Sticky the turret. Headshot. Boom. Boom. Kill him. Chop. Sticky to the turret. Kill that guy. Should be a gargoyle. And that's the fight. Now I didn't do it here because I'm in demonstration mode, but what you want to do is you want to stand in the portal location as it's spawning. You just stand in the center of this pentagram here after you kill the final fodder, and you'll skip that animation that I just did. I already got a checkpoint, so I'm not going to go back, but make sure you're standing here so that you can skip that animation. And that's Exultia. The worst of the run is over now. Now for Rivatuner, where I get to throw a ton of movement tech at you, and there's going to be a lot of words. So, skip cutscene. We're going to execute the first just normal dash boost of the run. So these stairs here have some weird geometry. It's like a perfect angle where you can just kind of dash and you get a ton of momentum forward. Like that. So once you skip the cutscene, you're going to be facing in this direction. I like to dash, dash, have a slight pause before the second dash. You do the slight pause before the second dash, and then I'll usually give you it. It's a little inconsistent, but you know, backwards movement is always very satisfying in this game. You could also turn around so you can see where you're going after the first dash, or you could, you know, try to set it up or whatever without doing two dashes. Fastest way is definitely doing the double dash. Now, second movement tech here, we're gonna execute a wall dash. So there's two ways to do this wall dash. You can do it facing 45-degree angle here, or facing here. So a wall dash is pretty similar to a normal dash boost. Oh, yeah, that's true as well. You could also reload checkpoint. So if I reset mission, if you just detest that dash boost that I did before, just immediately reload checkpoint, and you're back here. If you don't want to do that dash boost, then this is going to be the fastest way to do it. Now from here, we want to hit that as fast as possible, but this is much more than a 2-dash distance, so we're going to do a wall dash, which is essentially just like that dash boost, except against a wall rather than a floor. You can see I was facing about a 45-degree angle with this wall. I'm hugging the wall. Sort of got some weird slope geometry, but you want to aim for like this, sort of like in between these two, maybe this. It's a little weird. So that's how you're doing it. If you're, facing the wall like this, you could do that. You could also do a diagonal dash boost, or a diagonal wall dash, that is, like that. So you can see in my inputs, I did W plus A, and then dash while I was in midair. I usually like to do that because it's a lot easier to get the perfect 45, because if you're doing W plus A, your dash will be a perfect 45-degree angle, and it's easy to align yourself straight. It's not easy to align yourself diagonally. So you get max speed from a wall dash if you're closer to a 45-degree angle, perfect 45. If you're above 45 with the perpendicular, all right, work that time. But usually, if you're above 45 on normal and other wall dashes, you can just not get the wall dash. And then if you're below, like this, if you're a little bit too perpendicular with the wall, you'll consistently get the wall dash, but you won't have much speed. You'll have much less speed than if you were at a perfect 45. So yeah, so you do that wall dash, and immediately hit this. Immediately exit to main menu to load checkpoint. Hold down spacebar during the menu. Now here, dash towards this door, and as soon as the door allows you to move, we're gonna wall dash on here. And move all the way down here, right by this Praetor token here. Now there's a setup that I really like to use, that I just started using pretty recently, and it's very, very consistent for me. I don't have my FPS hotkey thing here. We're going to change our FPS to 60 here, and execute what's called a zip. So a zip is a dash at a weird angle along weird geometry that'll give us a ton of downward speed. I'm talking like hundreds, way more than any like slope boost that we usually use in the game. Even more than like the Hell on Earth stuck boost. A ton of speed. Save location here. So I'm standing here. I'm holding down W plus A and not moving. Look sort of in this direction. Don't look straight forward, but look sort of in this direction. It's not very precise. Gonna jump and sort of just move left until you're about here. Save location here. Now we're going to cap our FPS to 60. You can see now I'm at 60 FPS here. We're going to dash forward and then immediately dash back. Let me show you what happens if you only do one dash. Oh, wait, that just worked. Usually what happens if you only do one dash, you get sent into the void. So you use another dash to stop your momentum. Like that. You don't want this happening. You don't want to see the flat earth here. So what we do is forward, back. And that'll give us our momentum outside of the Rivatuner. Forward, back. Now we're inside the Rivatuner. And that'll consistently give you the it'll stop your momentum so that you don't burst forth into the void. Now once you're down here, in order to spawn the fight, you need to hit the door trigger, which you can do by just slope boosting on either this or this, depending on where you land. Depending on your position, you might land in like many different locations. Sometimes I'm on this side, sometimes I'm on this side. Just slope boost off of anything. Hit this door. See you reach a checkpoint. Do an exit to main menu reload. And now the fight spawns. Now this is just frantic nonsense, sticky bombs, heavy cannon, whatever. I always want to prioritize For close range targets, prioritize base fire combat shotgun and heavy cannon. Heavy cannon also for some mid-range targets if your sticky bombs are on cooldown. For long range targets, hit them with the stickies. Or for imps that are close to each other like that. He's close, so I'm gonna do this. You know, it's whatever. This is a lot of improvising, and this can be a lot of time save or time lost depending on how good your Rivatuner arena is. Any more? Yeah. The final soldier always likes to hide from you like that. Once you kill the last one, you'll see the checkpoint reach, and this portal will spawn here. And now we're gonna do another new movement tech, the portal boost. So we're going to hold down, as soon as you hit the portal, hold down macro, and then as soon as the screen starts fading back to the Fortress of Doom, do a dash. Oh, it didn't work there. It gave me a little bit of speed. This works better if you're standing in the portal as it spawns, but I don't know why it's not giving me the speed there. But that's a little bit better. But yeah, I'm just holding down macro, and then as soon as I see the fortress reappear, press dash, and I'll send you flying this way. There we go. Oh. So some things to note with Doom Eternal is that all I'm doing is holding down W here, and I'm getting stuck on here. This happens a lot. There we go. The physics in this game are weird. Try to avoid that. Try to avoid this arch in particular. It'll pretty consistently just stop you in your tracks there. If that happens though, you could do a wall dash off of the arch there and get back up to a high speed. The other thing is that watch out for this. If you are holding down macro and you slow boost here, it'll stop a lot of your speed once you hit this on this sort of bounce here. So watch out for that. I like to try to, as soon as I dash, I stop holding down macro, and then if I see myself, if my trajectory is hitting this, I'll like slowly scroll. So I just get like a normal B hop off of this rather than a full-on slope boost, and that'll get me, that'll keep my speed better. Yeah. For if you miss it or whatever, wall dashes are always a good backup. You can wall dash off of basically any surface. You could do a good wall dash there, do a wall dash there. The world is your oyster with wall dashes. So we're gonna grab this token. As soon as you hit it, reload checkpoint by exiting the main menu and coming back. Now we're back here, but we don't have a portal to give us a ton of speed anymore. So we're gonna do the wolf boost. So you're going to jump. See, I'm standing on this skull here, and I'm holding W plus D. Now look at the arm of the wolf, and dash. This is a combo boost. This is a normal dash boost combined with a wall dash together to give you sort of like a normal dash boost, a little bit upwards so that you clear this, as well as a wall dash to give you a ton of speed. And you can set that up very, very fast. You can see, for demonstration, I just kind of stood on the skull, but what you can do, as soon as you're here, jump, boom. It's very nice. Now these stairs are a little weird. I like to hold down macro on them and see what happens. Sometimes you'll hit a good corner of the stair, and you'll just sort of fly with a good trajectory through here, and have a high speed going to the end of level, or the end of the fortress. Other times, you know, something like this will happen, in which case, just do a wall dash on here. If you rub against this wall, you can see it's a little bit slanted. Or not slanted, but like, yeah, it is a little bit slanted. So you don't really want to be a perfect 45 degree with it. You want to sort of be aiming this way to get more consistently. I like to aim maybe like at this pillar. Doesn't matter a ton as long as you're not at a perfect 45 with the visual here, because the visual does not match the actual geometry. And now, that's the end of the fortress. From here, we need to grab the ice bomb. During this thing, we have enough time to grab the ice bomb without losing time. Just gonna do weapon swap, grab ice bomb, and go to the portal. If you're doing this in real time in a run, you know, you'll get here before the portal spawns. And that's the Exultia Repertorium. Now for Cultist Base. So there's 3 main boosts in Cultist Base. This is a very short level. So first, you spawn here. You're gonna do like a little mini slope boost off of this pillar. There's some weird jump extension geometry here. See, if I'm just against the pillar here, I hold down macro, I get sent upwards. You're gonna want to sort of rub against the pillar, tap macro, and we're gonna fly into a hole in the geometry here. It's a pretty good Slayer width, like just hole in the ceiling here. Whoops. And then mantle onto that. This is actually surprisingly tricky. It's very simple inputs, but if you're not thinking too hard, then sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes that'll happen. It could be surprisingly tricky to get. However, as long as you don't rub too hard against this, you should have a good trajectory going upwards. If you rub too hard against it, then that'll happen. Otherwise, you should be pretty good for that. Now, we're going to slope boost off of a jump extension here, and bonk on here to send us flying that way, and use the air control to redirect ourselves towards the triple Mancubus rocket launcher arena right there. Now, to get up here, you're going to want to either scroll jump or macro jump, so you can skip a mantle. If you just do single spacebar inputs, you'll usually have to mantle. I've never been able to get this without a mantle using spacebar inputs. So to skip that mantle, just use macro for your movements. It's always good to just use macro for everything, especially once we get to Ballista boosts. Your Ballista boost will be higher and bring you farther because you're jumping higher using macro jumps or scroll jumps, whatever have you. There's a few directions you can look. It doesn't matter a ton. What matters is really just your timing here. I'm going to press D and weapon wheel at the same time. And you can see what happened there. Instead of being sucked into the jump extension like normal, see, here I get sucked into the jump extension. I sort of flew outwards. If you get sucked into the jump extension, then what happens is you'll just kind of go upwards and bonk. You don't want that. But if you fly sort of really deep into the jump extension, like out here, then slope boost, then you get the bonk off of this slanted surface here. And it's easy to set up. For here, I'm just holding D and weapon wheel at the same time. Of course, that time I missed it. But yeah, from here, fly straight here, and you want to land right in this general area, because this is a trigger that will open here. I'll usually, if I'm flying in from like this direction, I'll just dash backwards, hit the trigger, and we have the rocket launcher here. Now, as soon as you pick up this rocket launcher, the door's gonna close, so you want to dash backwards as soon as you pick it up, and that's that. The next boost is all the way back here, right in this little corner here. Once you pick up the rocket launcher, you have a few movement options. You can either you do use one dash there, wait for it to recharge, and then double dash. What I've been doing as of late actually is doing a bit of a dash or a wall dash off of this little thing. And send me right here. Now for the Cultist Base Giga Boost. I'll show you a few setups for this. Honestly, just do what works for you. Initially, I really liked this setup, where I'm looking here, but then I like this one, and now I'm going back to this one. I'll show you all three that I know, and I'll just honestly just do what works for you. So the first one here, I'm looking at this sort of white splotch here. Holding down W plus D. Whip out weapon wheel. I'm still holding down W plus D. Hold on macro, and boom. Now what happened there? As soon as I actually got launched by the boost, I started holding down A and moved my mouse a little bit. The actual trajectory of this, I'll use no clip to sort of demonstrate this in a pseudo slow motion. You're flying straight up, and you're bonking on the geo here. Either on this or on this, whatever have you. Holding down W plus D. As soon as you let go of W plus D, you bonk, and then I hold down A, and you go in this direction. And then I use the center arena of the level to align myself. Whoops. Do that one more time. There it is. So I'm sort of, in order to get in a straight line, I'm holding down A and just sort of aligning myself with the like straight line of the center arena. You could also look at like this huge rail here. Make sure you're perpendicular to that. And now our destination is, I don't have much speed from the no clip. Our destination is the end of the level. You're gonna see this yellow line and then this big monorail here. You wanna aim like right there. Not straight at the yellow line, a little bit farther back. You can actually see, before the textures load in, there's the end of level button. Or there's a ceiling. The reason why you want to aim in right here, because the ceiling ends and there's a death plane there. Or a warp, I should say. Bring you straight here. Should have saved my location at the rocket launcher arena. Now for the other setups, to do that same boost. In my experience, if you have consistently 250 FPS, I like this one the best. It'll usually give you the best trajectory and not a lot of height, which is good for this boost. However, if you're struggling with FPS, this will give you a lot more inputs in my experience. So what I'm doing for this one is I'm looking in this direction, looking at this white splotch here, and holding down W. Instead of W plus D, I'm holding down W. All the setups here are the same mechanics, except just slightly different inputs. You're just looking at different directions. So you hold down weapon wheel, space. Now instead of holding down A in midair, I'm going to do A plus S. You're just rotating your setup here. Oh, of course I missed it there. Damn. This boost, much like the Exultia one, can be kind of a scam. There it is. Now for this one, usually I haven't done this boost in a while. I used to do this one in runs, but then I switched to the other one. Sort of look at this slope here. I want to look right here. And that'll send you in that diagonal direction over to the end of the level. Oops. Now a third one is here. I'm holding down A, not A. I'm holding down D, sorry. And looking at where this brick sort of intersects the rock. So I'm still holding down D. Now instead of holding down like W plus, you know, whatever, or just holding down A, I'm going to hold down W plus A. Again, aim here. Now, what's really nice about warps like this is that while you're in that black screen there, you can dash. I'll demonstrate that again. So I'm above the ceiling here. Usually this warp just brings you here. However, you can dash during the warp. And you're right at the button. And you can activate the button while the screen is still black. Nice, tidy little time save there. And that's it. There's one more thing to note, actually, with this Cultist boost, is that the big ticket to whatever setup you're using is whatever you're holding down, whether you're holding down W here, W plus D here, or just D, whatever you do, make sure that you're holding down that movement key while you're doing the boost. There we go. That's a good example of how that setup will get me a lot more height than the other ones. So if you're struggling on FPS, I definitely recommend that one. But yeah, these boosts, all three of these setups work much better if you're holding down the movement key during the boost. And that's Cultist Base. Now, Doom Hunter Base. Our first destination for Doom Hunter Base is going to be the first Praetor token. This is going to be right after the train ride. Unfortunately, we're not skipping the train ride in this route, but the you know, you're going to ride the train and just go straight to the token, and we're going to get faster swapper, which is going to help us with the boss fight. Now, for this fight, this is another highly choreographed fight, but it's really easy. It's all sticky bombs and chainsaw. So you're going to dash, dash, sticky, 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 chainsaw, sticky, sticky, sticky. And that should kill everyone. I did that a little bit slow for demonstration, so this guy didn't die, but we'll do it again. Missed that sticky. Hello. So you notice that there was a lot of imps in that fight, but a lot of them die from collaterals. And then one of them will actually die when you chainsaw the Mancubus. His death animation will explode. There's another imp that's running down the center, and the Mancubus death animation will actually always kill that imp, which is very nice. Which is why we besides just killing the Mancubus fast, that's another good reason why we chainsaw the Mancubus here. So as soon as you kill the last fodder, there's a timer of a few seconds. Once this chain is breakable, you'll see a little shift here where the actual like lock on this disappears. Just gonna dash, and that'll break the chain. Now the best part of the run, the train ride. Taking the scenery. The scenery is much nicer when the textures aren't deloading all around you because you're out of bounds, aren't they? Now we're gonna slope boost right up to that ledge to get the Praetor token that's up there. While I'm on, what I'll do to line up the slope boost is, while I'm on the train, look at this bolt right there. It's a little hard to see because the lighting's a little dark, but there's a bolt here and a bolt here. I look at this one, and as soon as the train stops and I'm allowed to move, the game allows me to move. Walk towards it, weapon wheel, dash dash, boom. And that's it. Now if that doesn't work for you, some like FPS shenanigans or whatever, you can always just jump up here and do a normal slope boost right there. No weapon wheel required. This one's a little weird since you're doing a jump extension that's more on the floor. So weapon wheel makes it more consistent. Gonna grab this and immediately get faster swapper. The menuing here, I have menu bound to T. So I'm gonna do T, E, E, and then this, hot swapper. And now we're gonna slope boost straight to the second part of the Doom Hunter boss fight. So for this slope boost, I'm right here. And on my FOV, what I'm looking for is this line here to reach the edge of my screen. This is a very, like, this is a pretty imprecise slope boost. Like, it doesn't need to be, like, ridiculous. You're gonna bonk and go this direction. I dash here so that I can talk, but usually you would just hole in one right here. This is the first phase where you fight the single Doom Hunter. However, we're gonna skip that and go straight to the second phase. Okay, do I have no... Let me turn no target on for demonstrating this here. So now we're at the Doom Hunter boss fight. What we're going to do here is, as soon as you can move here after the animation, spawn camp this guy and hit him right in the bump with a rocket. And I'll show you two combos here. The first one isn't going to be as fast, but it'll be really easy if you use PB rocketing. So you're going to rocket, punch, get a blood punch, rocket, and then just sort of like, just pretend you're PB rocketing. Oops. My muscle memory is telling me to not do that. Just pretend you're PB rocketing. 3 rockets will usually, if you get really good, if you get direct hits, that'll usually get him. If it doesn't, just whip out your combat shotgun and that'll finish him off. Now, as soon as this sled explodes, he's vulnerable. He has an animation, he has iframes. If the sled is alive, then he can't be hurt in his second phase. So make sure you wait for the sled to explode, and then do the thing where you just pretend you're PB rocketing, and that's it. By the way, you can't glory kill these guys if you're on no target. Very nice game. Good game. Now the other combo for this guy is using punch cancels. Now I'm going to give myself infinite ammo to demonstrate this. So for a punch cancel, you're going to start out with or for rocket punch cancels at least. It's a little tricky, but hopefully you can read the input display here. I have Z is punch, caps lock. Oh my god, my caps lock key isn't showing. Oh, no, it is. Never mind, my stream is just a little... Well. Caps lock is rocket launcher, and then E is heavy cannon. And then fire is mouse 1. So I'm going to heavy cannon, swap to rocket launcher, fire, punch, press my rocket launcher bind again, and to do that in a rhythm. You can see the rhythm on screen there. It's kind of a galloping motion. So Z is my punch key. However, I'm actually hitting it with my thumb on my mouse because I have a lot of extra mouse buttons, and Z is where I have one of them bound. It's just pressing the Z key, but as a mouse button. So it's sort of a galloping motion with my right hand and my left hand. Oops. Yeah, that's punch canceling. Rocket punch canceling is much harder than other punch canceling, like SSG punch canceling or Ballista punch canceling. However, once you get the rhythm down, it's pretty simple. So we're going to use this to our advantage. We're going to start at the combo the same way. Rocket, punch, rocket. Now we're going to do 3 punch canceled rockets, and then a combat shotgun. 1, 2, 3, boom. And that's it. That's some speedy nonsense. Make sure you pick, as you're doing this, I like to stand here so I pick up these rockets. These rockets are important. Now for this guy's second phase, you're going to do the same thing, except without starting out with the blood punch and the rockets. You're just going to 4 punch canceled rockets. 4 will bring him down to a low health, and then I sticky bomb him to finish him off. Let me just actually finish this guy. Oh. If I initiated it on no target, then he doesn't get glory killed. That's a good thing to note. If you are practicing this fight and you have no target on, you're not going to be able to glory kill him if you beat his second phase on no target. Now, as soon as he dies, you already grabbed... I have infinite ammo on, so I didn't grab these rockets yet. Let me just pretend like I did. As soon as he dies, you should be on, I believe, 2 rockets? 2 or 3 rockets, depending on how many rockets you missed or whatever. And you're going to grab this bundle of rockets here. You should have 5 or 6 rockets. For this guy, he's going to be moving around a lot. And even on no target, he's like, he's hounding me right now. So this is going to be a lot more improvised when you're fighting this guy. Which is why for this guy, I like to not punch cancel him. I like to just rocket swap. Make sure you're throwing a blood punch there, because blood punch does massive damage to these guys. Now, since you can't spawn camp the second one, your blood punch is pretty often going to do less damage. If you blood punch directly the sled of the Doom Hunter, then the blood punch does full damage. However, if you blood punch, if you're sort of like here and you accidentally go upwards, that's like a half damage blood punch. Very bad. Do not recommend. Sometimes you can get a full damage blood punch from the front if you just like are looking downwards, but it's not very consistent. So this guy sucks. I don't like him. This guy, however, you can spawn camp him, the one that spawns here. So you'll very consistently get the full damage of the blood punch. Let me see if I can get the full damage blood punch on this guy from the front for demonstration. So if you're right in front of him, you look downwards. That wasn't even a full damage blood punch, but sometimes that'll work. I usually go for that. The other thing to note is that a lot of mean enemies spawn as soon as you kill this first guy. Mainly carcasses and prowlers. And this is the main place where that extra life that I have right now comes into use. For safety. Because pretty often, with our lack of arsenal, we literally only have stickies, base fire heavy cannon, and base fire rockets. You're probably gonna die a lot, even though we're on the lowest difficulty. Let's turn on God mode for demonstration. So, one good way of improvising, specifically the second phase, sticky headshots. They do a surprising amount of damage. So if you run out of rockets or whatever, then sticky headshots are really nice. You should have enough rockets to finish him off, because while he's in the animation, you're gonna want to do a chainsaw. In the while he's between phases, that is. You should have 5 rockets. Should be enough to get him, but if he strafes against you and whatever, then, you know, that could happen. Yeah, let me just turn no target back on, just to recap this fight. There was the combo on this guy. Grab the 2 rockets that are here. Grab these 3 rockets. Either punch cancel or, you know, just rocket swap the sled of this guy, throwing in a blood punch in there somewhere. Usually you want to start off with a blood punch so the default isn't. It's a good idea. And as soon as the sled breaks, or not the sled explodes, but like as soon as you do enough damage to the sled where he changes phases, just chainsaw someone. You have 3 chainsaw here, so you can chainsaw a heavy. And then kill him by any means necessary. And that's your hunter base. Now for the Doom Hunter base fortress, we're going to be grabbing the Ballista over here. So we're going to do this dash boost again. Again, this is a little weird of a dash boost, but if you detest the inconsistency of this dash boost, what you could also do is camp the door and do a wall dash there. You have less speed from the wall dash, so it's a little bit slower, but yeah, it's a little bit more consistent than going for that dash boost. I'm gonna grab the Ballista, immediately load checkpoint. Excuse me. Now that's a normal load checkpoint. The inputs for that are escape, down, space, left, space. And you can do that extremely fast. Now we're going to do the first Ballista boost of the run. As soon as you have control over the Slayer, Ballista boost this way, and hit this. Now, something to note with Ballista boost is that you're going to be sent in the opposite direction from where you're going, and it's going to add about 15 meters per second to your current speed. So if you're not moving at all initially, you know, it's a little, you know, a little bit faster than walking, but you know, it's not that good. What you really want to do is hold down, if you're doing it backwards, hold down S, and then Ballista boost, and you get a lot more speed. It's very nice. For if you're doing more advanced, if you're a little bit more advanced, instead of looking backwards, do a flick. Accidentally flame belch there. Do a flick, and that'll, you know, it's just Ballista boosting. You either if you don't know how to Ballista boost, then I highly recommend turning around first. But if you're already used to it, then obviously just flick the Ballista boost. And now we go to Super Gore Nest. Almost forgot the name of the level. This level is another exceptionally short level. The actual level part of it, if you're doing it fast, could take, you know, 19-20 seconds. And then the fortress part of the level is much longer. Now, while I'm in this loading screen, I'm going to change my FPS. My hotkey here is 144. This is just like a kind of, it's the refresh rate of my old monitor. To probably change it to a different value, but as long as your FPS is about in the 120 to 150 range, then this will be doing the fast zip for this level to be consistent for you. At least getting the zip will be consistent. Now this is very similar to the Rivatuner zip. There's a death plane down here, or a death warp. But what we're going to do is just zip right through it. On one frame, we're above it, and on the other frame, we're below it. Because we're going that fast. Now the lineup for this zip is, we're gonna stand right here-ish. Doesn't really matter. It could be like here. Here works a lot of the time too, but if you want to be safe, you just want to nestle your crosshair, your dot crosshair, right there. Right in like this sort of V-shaped thing. Now there's two ways you can do this. What I used to do is here, but actually recently I started doing a different setup for this. I'll show you both. So you want to look at this dot. I'm gonna save location here, and then dash, and you're gonna zip right through the death plane, and now you're out of bounds. Now, while you're as soon as after your dash, hold down S and macro, and you'll bunny hop on some geometry there. And we're going to use that speed to go right to the end of the level. So the actual trajectory here, I'll do this in no-clip mode first. You're going to b-hop on the weird rock here. You're going to be going kind of backwards this way. Where did it go? Here it is. You're going to be going backwards around this rock and hit here. And there's a death warp here. And this is right at the end of the escape sequence of the level. Slope boost up, and beyond this is the end of the level. Doing it in real time. Boom. Now doing the 180 in midair, I added a Ballista boost there for consistency. You don't have to do that. I definitely recommend, if you're doing this setup, I definitely recommend it. Because the backwards movement can be a little hard sometimes. If your air strafing is a little off, you'll hit the rock and then you lose a lot of speed, and you can't see where you're going until after you 180. So I definitely recommend doing this setup instead. Look sort of at the bottom of this arch, Or if you're struggling with this one, I recommend doing this one. Look at the bottom of this arch, and we're going to dash backwards, and then rather than holding S plus macro, hold W plus macro. And what this is going to do is exact same movement, except now we're facing forwards and we can see where we're going. Just like that. I find this a lot easier, and I definitely, like, if setting up the actual zip, doing like the backwards dash can be a little bit hard, but you can actually change your binds. I know Seeker actually does he has F1 on, I believe it's dash on F1 and then S on F2 as like secondary binds, and then just kind of presses them in quick succession, and it's very consistent. Sometimes this will happen as well, where you just go right through and you don't get the bunny hop. Unfortunately, that is a purely RNG thing. Our macro is 100 times per second. However, our FPS is less than 200. In a perfect world, we would be getting 1 jump input with a macro every other frame. However, because our FPS right now has to be below 200 to go to zip through the death plane, there's always going to be a non-zero chance that that we're not going to get the bunny hop, because 2 jump inputs are going to be on adjacent frames. But if we hop on the second frame, there is no jump input on that second frame, because the game interprets 2 adjacent jump inputs on like adjacent frames as a single jump input. So that's something to keep in mind with this. There's a good amount of RNG to actually getting this bunny hop here. However, if you get the RNG, usually it's the forward movement is really easy. If you're just starting out and you don't want to do this zip because it looks scary or whatever, or you're struggling with it, here's another thing you can do, and this is what any percent used to do. This is what any percent limited does, since we're not allowed to zip at any percent limited. Walk over here. Turn on no target, so these guys don't annoy me. We're gonna dash through a hole here. There's just like a tiny hole that the Slayer can barely fit through. So what I'm going to do is jump off of this, and I'm going to be aiming sort of in this dark shaded area and hold down dash. And now I'm out of bounds. Now from here, you're sort of like in this weird area, you're like kind of inside the bus. Just kind of want to jump. You want to be on here, on this rock. From here, we're going to do a triple Ballista boost to the end. So the way that I line this up is you can be anywhere sort of here. Be here. And we're going to punch cancel Ballista. I'm going to give myself infinite ammo to demonstrate Ballista punch cancels first. But we're going to do 3 punch cancel Ballistas. The inputs for punch canceling Ballistas, very similar to the rocket one, where you have this sort of galloping motion, but it's a lot slower. And you can do this, you can do it without doing like the perfect galloping motion. You can just hold down left click and then spam punch in your Ballista bind. My Ballista bind is Q, and this will consistently give you Ballista punch cancels. Very nice. Oh, I hit the death plane by accident. But yeah, so once you're here, I'm looking right at this like rock that's jutting out here. Oops. You don't want to slope boost on this, by the way. Yeah. 2, 3. Hit this, and boom. What happened there, and I'm glad that I hit that because that's good demonstration. This could be a little bit dangerous because if you're too high, there's a kill plane in this level. It's right. It's about like maybe like this height. Maybe not that height, but it's somewhere in this general area. And doing this, you'll sometimes hit it. And if you don't have an extra life, hitting the death warp there is actually going to kill you, because this kill plane will bring you immediately down to 5 health due to 1 hit protection. To avoid that, what you want to do is delay your last jump. You saw there, I did Ballista, 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 and then jump after the 3rd Ballista. jump after the third ballista, and that should make you avoid the kill plane there, so you don't die and lose your run. Now from here, movement is the same, just slope boost up here, dash, dash. As soon as this door opens, ballista boost, and that super Gore Nest. Now the most exciting part of the run, in my opinion, is right now. We get to, well, I have voices off right now. However, we get to listen to Vega's wonderful voice tell us about the final Hell Priest and how we need to go to the Arc command station. It's my favorite part of the run, personally. From here, just camp this button. You can spam punch to get a really soon activation of the button. And that's super Gore Nest. Now for Arc. Arc is sort of the next sort of run killer. There's a lot going on in Arc, especially this first encounter. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through it a little bit slowly. First, for the beginning of Arc, there's this breakable thing here. You can get a punch boost through here. I didn't get it there, but if you just, what I'm doing is just holding down macro, pressing W, holding down macro, and then punch while I'm in midair. And you can get a good amount of speed from that. If you don't get it, you can always wall dash off of something, or ballista boost, whatever you want. Ballista routing is a little bit tight, so if you ballista boost here, you're gonna need to get rid of a ballista somewhere else. Now here, we're gonna zip straight down the elevator. Now to set this, not really like a big like setup for this. It's really just save location here. You're here. You hug the back of the elevator, and then there's dash, and you'll get the zip. Oops. Now for this fight, this is gonna start with these two fodder here, rocket the floor. These two guys here, rocket the floor. Now if I turn off, these two guys spawn back here, but they're going to, their AI will like follow me here. Oh man, because of the no target, their AI is messed up. Let me just do this first part in real time then. Rocket the floor. Rocket the floor. You see what I did there? Oh, this guy survived. But usually, if you rocket the floor with those, with the Prowler and both imps in the immediate vicinity of you, you'll do enough damage to the Prowler that a single sticky will kill it afterwards, and you'll kill the imps. Make sure you watch though, because if the imp's AI is sort of like on this side a little bit too much, then it might not die. So that's a good collateral there. If you don't want to do that collateral, if it's a little too inconsistent, then you just rocket the floor for the two imps. Sticky headshot, and then sticky. And that's good. You could either do a sticky headshot and then a normal sticky, or you could do 3 stickies if you don't get the headshot. Now for this, you're going to rocket the floor such that it blows up the barrel, and that'll kill all the fodder here. Now since we're on patch 1.0 of the game, you actually can't shoot through these demonic barrier walls unless you're right up against it. The angle here is really weird. So you can see this works. I'm shooting through. However, this, oh, that does also work. So that specifically with Ballista will work at most angles. But if you're trying to rocket, that will work. But this, I'm just getting self-rocketed for the same angle, but the other side. That's something to keep in mind, that the origin of the rocket is on, if you're in right-handed, the origin of the rocket is there. I also tested this with classic weapon pose, and it's the same result, because when you press up against this wall, it does the same thing whether you're in classic or not. So for this, Ballista through the wall to kill that guy. Now the next wave will spawn. Another soldier will spawn here, taking the place of the previous one. Ballista him. Kill this guy however you want. Either could be a base fire, could be a sticky, could be just heavy cannon or whatever. And now, my favorite AI in this game, we named this snake Gertrude. You need to wait for the snake to get through this wall in order to really consistently kill it. But if her pathfinding is just weird, then she could just stay in that corner there, and it really sucks because that's like a really big time loss. One thing that you can do to sort of mitigate it is rocket swapping through the wall, and I'll show you that right now. Sometimes you want to lob another rocket there. Ballista, boom. Oops. I'm going to turn on God mode because I'm trying to demonstrate things. Oh, no target. So with this barrier still up, you can rocket swap here. However, this Mancubus is going to be targeting you, and if he damages you while you're here, you're gonna be self-rocketing a lot because your aim is gonna be messed up. Stuff like that's gonna happen, and it's very, very risky to do that because you might just die of damage. Kinda sucks. So I like to wait for the snake to get through the wall. Ice bomb, 2 or 3 rockets. If this barrel blows up, it'll only take 2 rockets. If the barrel does not blow up, or if it already blew up before the snake got through, then it'll take 3 rockets. Now for this phase, I like to throw a flame belch at these guys as they spawn. Rocket, blood punch, rocket again, ballista. And that'll kill almost everything here. Except for these 2 mechas and that soldier back there. Sticky, sticky, sticky. And now we're left with just this prowler. You're gonna rocket right at his feet. That's gonna do enough damage that the barrel blowing up will kill it. And now we reach a checkpoint. And now for the Revenant clip. If you want to do this more consistently, the Revenant clip consistently, recommend reloading checkpoint. Reloading checkpoint is not required. However, definitely recommended because your position can be way off. So for the Revenant clip, what I'm going to do is go forward a little bit, dash dash, and while I'm in the middle of the dashes, the Revenant's going to break through this wall, and I'm just going to slam my scroll wheel up. My scroll wheel up is on chainsaw, and it's going to spam chainsaw inputs and chainsaw the Revenant while he's on the below the map. This is more consistent on high FPS, by the way. The reason why you can do that is because on 1.0 at least, you can't do this on 1.1. If you're during a weapon swap animation, you see I'm spamming chainsaw inputs during the weapon swap animation. Oops. You can also do this during mod swap animation, which is actually what we do in limited. However, we don't have mods to swap to, so just weapon swap to either rocket launcher or ballista. You usually, if the prowler is the last thing you killed, then the rocket launcher is going to be the thing that you're holding. So swap the ballista. And boom. Do that one more time. You want to make sure you're scrolling very fast for this to make this more consistent for you. It's a bit tricky. That time I dashed too late, so I was a little bit too far away from him. But you can see I'm swapping the ballista and spamming chainsaw inputs during the ballista bring up animation. Now from here, if you only used 3 ballista during the rest of that, I used 3 ballista, 2 on the 2 soldiers, and 1 on the Hell Knight. You should have full ammo after this chainsaw. Look in this direction. I'm in no clip right now, but this will just bring you like through the floor. Double jump, ballista boost, and then curve your mouse, your trajectory left, backwards, and you land on this. No target. Show that one more time. The rev clip will bring you right down here. Double jump, ballista boost, and curve your trajectory left, and you want to land right on this. For safety, you could also land on here and then jump here, whatever you really want. You just want to be here. We're going to do a slope boost here, and our destination is going to be right here. This black box here, there's a death warp that will bring you up to right here. And we're going to use that to get to this mod bot as fast as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a weapon wheel slope boost, and while we're in midair, ballista. Boom, boom. Now we're on here. You can skip that mantle with good movement. I didn't there. It's a little tricky. But if you don't skip the mantle, do a ballista boost. Hit it right there, and you're golden. Now, one thing to note with this is that this death warp can be like a little weird. You don't want to hit it dead on, because there's a wall in front of it. You want to be in this corner and then go left, like that. I have to checkpoint there. But on this corner, there's a bit of a standable surface, and then go left, and you hit the death warp. So as soon as you hit the death warp, walk forward a little bit. You'll hit the checkpoint. Ballista boost backwards. Break the wall. Grab precision bolt. Or micro missiles, but the way that I do this, I like to grab precision bolt. And as soon as the screen starts fading back, exit to main menu. Reload. One thing actually to note here is that in my input display, when I'm doing macro, it's doing the when I'm holding down spacebar, that is, it's showing it as scroll down inputs. But note that when I'm menuing there, I'm holding down spacebar. Whether you have macro on spacebar or anything else, it still works to menu faster there. So for this, if you use a ballista out of bounds, if you didn't use a ballista out of bounds while you were doing a slope boost, like if you only used one ballista for that slope boost, dash, boom, and we're going to walk just a little bit forward, and a good old friend, we don't have a name for this guy, but we should have a name for this guy. This Revenant's going to spawn, undercovering this secret. Grab the secret, canceling the animation by swapping the heavy cannon. And make sure you swap the heavy cannon. You're going to mantle up. And during the mantle, while you're like in the mantle animation, swap the ballista. What this is called is a bring up animation something swap. I actually don't remember the full name of it. But what this does is it actually inherits the Revenant named live during tutorial. Name him Henry. His name's Henry. Oh, Reginald. Okay, I like Reginald better. But yeah, if you do the bring up animation swap here, it inherits the heavy cannon properties to the ballista. And now your punch cancels are completely supercharged. This is not a requirement, however, it's amazing, and you should always do this whenever you can. Just for reference, normal punch canceling is this speed. The way you cancel that weapon swap inheritance is you just swap again. Do a normal swap, and your ballista's back to normal. So once you do that, you're going to want to, after you grabbed the secret over there, make sure you grab the collectible as well. You're going to be in this corner, nestle yourself in here. I like to look at this part here. This is one of the run killing slope boosts. I'm holding down A and S, or S works as well. I find that A and S is a little bit more consistent for me, but whatever works for you. Weapon wheel. Whoa. Okay. Wait, you're not supposed to be able to stuck boost that, but yeah. And what this is going to do This is going to be what I like to call like the momentum slope boost, where the Slayer is being curved around a bit of a curved geometry and getting a big speed boost off of that. And in addition to that, you're bonking on this. So what this is going to do is send you flying up here, and we're trying to reach the end of the level trigger, or the Marauder fight trigger at least. So while you're flying up here, to make this consistent, you don't actually have to do what I'm about to show you here. You could just fly straight there, but for consistency, and it doesn't lose any time, bunny hop on this thing, and then you can Ballista boost all the way to the end. You're gonna keep your speed while you're in midair here. Let me just demonstrate this via no clip first. Oh, now I'm above the level. Oh, let's do this with slow boost. Flying here, bunny hop on the invisible geo there, and I was too far left there, so I hit the death plane. There's a death warp like in the middle of the air, right around here where I'm no clipping. So what you want to do to avoid that, as soon as you hit the bunny hop, look this way, and then be on the right side. Let me try to do this in one thing. Bunny hop, curve left. And if your movement is good, you should land right here. My movement was good there, however, my dashes as backups were bad. If you do this perfectly, you should land right here. I'm not no clipping right now. There is a standable surface here that you can land straight on, and from here you can grab the button from out of bounds. Now, if you mess something up, a lot of times what will happen to me is I'll actually hit something here, and I'll lose all my speed. Either I'll mantle on a surface out of bounds here, if I can find it. There's a surface that quite often you'll mantle on, which is why I like to save one extra Ballista boost. I use 3 during the boost, but then I'll use 1/4 Ballista shot here a lot of the time to bring me to the end. Now, one thing to note about the Ballista routing here, this is just the Ballista routing I use. If you come up with something different, then, you know, feel free to do what you're comfortable with. However, I always like, as soon as I'm here, I want to have 100 ammo. 3 for the boost after the bunny hop, and then 1 as a backup in case something goes wrong and you lose all your speed. Either you mantle on the thing that's there, or, you know, just something goes wrong, so that you can get to the end. You can get to the end from out of bounds. Now, when you're actually over here after the rev clip, I'll do this again. How much ammo you have is dependent on whether or not you lose speed here. If you mantle on this, definitely do a Ballista boost here, but now you're going to be down a Ballista. So for the movement, after you pick up the Modbot, instead of dashing backwards and Ballista boosting here, you can do a wall dash. It's going to lose you a little bit of time. However, I highly, highly, highly recommend doing that so that you have 1 extra Ballista for backup, because that boost is kind of a monster. So you can wall dash here. Make sure you don't macro on those stairs. Wall dash there. If that happens, you can always... Basically every surface in this game is wall dashable. You can wall dash here. Boom. Do your normal movement and be on your merry way. Now, once you're over here, you usually have the Ballista out. Make sure you swap the heavy cannon first to make the next part easier on yourself. You're going to hit the button, skip cutscene, and while the Marauder is going to do like an axe swing at you, or not at you, but he's going to be doing a sort of an animation where he's swinging the axe downwards. When he's on the downswing, exit to main menu. Oh, okay. He doesn't do it if you're on no target. I had no target on, so I didn't get it. However, when he's on the downstring, exit the main menu. The downswing timing is only so that you don't reload too early. If you reload too early, a lot of nonsense is going to happen. You're going to be back by the mod bot, even though you hit that checkpoint there. You need to make sure you wait just like a split second, and then you're golden. So instead of going straight back into the level, we're going to mission select in our save. In this case, I'm in save slot 1. Mission select. We're going to go to cheat codes, IDKFA, and open up Exultia. You could also do this in Cultist Base, I guess, but Cultist Base and Exultia are like the 2 best ones for this. Now the menuing here, as soon as you can menu, you're going to open up your menu here. By default, this bind is on tab. However, I press T because that's my bind for menu. The inputs here is going to be menu, E, D, move your mouse over to X, or not to X, sorry, to micro missiles. If you picked up precision bolt in arc, then do micro missiles. If you picked up micro missiles in arc, then do precision bolt. Press X, escape, and then return to campaign. Now what this is going to do is this is going to glitch out the heavy cannon. I'm going to turn on no target here. See, now we have micro missiles in the game. However, we didn't actually get micro missiles from the mod bot. We got precision bolts. So let's swap to precision bolts. I have this bind on control. The cancel, the actual animation of you swapping the mods, just do a punch. Like that. Now I have precision bolts. However, we have fully automatic precision bolt now. This is the IDKFA glitch, and it's one of like the staples of the run. The IDKFA hype is real. So as soon as you do that, just melt the Marauder, and that's it. That's our complex. So the timing, if you're doing that in real time, that's the reason why you want to hold out heavy cannon during the boost. Before you enter the Marauder cutscene, you want to hold heavy cannon so that you can just... I'm just spamming... What I'm doing during runs is I'm spamming control and punch so that I can get the IDKFA as soon as possible, and that'll consistently... You'll be able to kill the Marauder before he's ever able to dash. So no Marauder memes, thank goodness. You don't even need to ice bomb him, because on load checkpoint, he just doesn't shield because he's a big dummy. He's not very smart. Enter the portal. You can camp the portal. And that's our complex. IDKFA hype. This fortress is nothing, just hit the button and that's it. Now for Mars Core. We're going to do the first and only instance of EBS in this run. So EBS stands for Extended Black Screens. And this is going to extend, or as the name suggests, this is going to extend the black screen of of loading a checkpoint in this game. So whenever I'll just do a normal load checkpoint here. If I just do load checkpoint, my screen is black for like a split second, and then I go in. However, if you're doing this from the start of the level, during this cutscene, right when it zooms in, exit the main menu, and you can see there, you can see on my input there, I was just sort of tapping spacebar, and the actual main menu showed up for maybe half a second or whatever. Now this black screen is going to last about 5 seconds. Now, you can use whatever timing method you want for initiating the end cutscene, but as long as you hold down R during the actual end, or during the actual black screen, then your movement is going to be unlocked during the elevator. So I'm going to hold down R right now. You can hear cutscene skipped. You can hear some noises. And now I can move in the elevator. Now, for timing purposes, it's optimal to actually press R as late as possible. So something funny that I like to do is I like to imagine the Stars and Stripes Forever in my head to count 5 seconds. So I'm going to do that and sing to you for a second here. As soon as the screen goes black, you start Stars and Stripes Forever. And then at the, I think it's the 5th beat, then press R. And boom. Now the elevator just starts moving. You can do whatever you want. That's just something nerdy I like to do. But yeah. From here, your movement is unlocked. You're gonna hug this and scroll your mouse wheel down slowly, and now you're out of the elevator. This weird little square thing here, whip out weapon wheel, and you can slope boost on it. Because it's moving, it acts a little bit weird sometimes. However, oops. Slope boost. Because I waited because I was talking, it didn't work very well, but you can see what I'm doing there. The Stars and Stripes tech. Now the actual scroll speed for getting out of the elevator can be a little bit tricky, but just, you know, I'm just kind of rolling my entire finger along it. Now slope boost, dash, so you can cancel your momentum there. We're going to do a double Ballista boost in this direction. Now this is actually my favorite part of the run, and I'm not joking about this time, because we're going to enter the dev room. So in this little crevice here, going to land here after the boost, and we're in the dev room. You have teleports to each part of the location, to each location in the level. You can go back to start if you want, skip intro or whatever. What we're going to do is grab BFG and go into Hellcore. And we're at the end of the level now. Now one thing to note here is that the hitboxes here are really weird because, you know, the level hasn't happened yet. So these things are still as they start rather than as they are after the cutscene. That's supposed to happen here. So this has no hitbox right now, but this has a hitbox even though, like, this is just invisible. So once you spawn here, what I like to do is jump, Ballista, just so I don't get caught on that. Now you Ballista boost, and you're sent over here. This fight's gonna start. We're going to do a slope boost off of this part of the level, or this part of this pillar here. And the way I line this up, you see this bright section here? Sort of like in the middle of it, right at this bright section, right here. It's not very precise. So we're going to hold down macro, or hold down weapon wheel, macro, Ballista boost, and then go to the end. Now one thing that happened there is, first of all, I bonked on this little slope surface there, which sent me that way. Then there's an invisible, there's a big like invisible box right here. I bunny hopped off of that by holding macro, and then punch cancel 3 ballistas. And that'll always bring you, that'll always bring you straight to here, and that's my score. This is another very short level. I believe the gold is about 34 seconds. Now Sentinel Prime. This is a fun one for the IDKFA glitch. So first, we're gonna start skipping the cutscene. If you're holding Ballista right now, then don't hold Ballista. Swap to Heavy Cannon. Here's what happens with your punch cancels if you don't hold Ballista, or if you don't swap off of Ballista from the start of the level. There's a very slow punch cancel in here. If I swap the Heavy Cannon first, now it's back to normal. That's one thing to note. At the end of Marscore, you either avoid that by swapping to something else at the end of Marscore, or during the start of this, just swap the Heavy Cannon while you're in motion. So you're going to land on this rail after a jump, and this is going to just be a standard slope boost. Boom. Weapon wheel macro. Now from here, I'm looking at like the right part of this rock, and I'm doing 4 Ballista boosts. As soon as those 4 Ballista boosts are done, 3 upwards, and that's all your Ballista. And we should be able to go straight to the Gladiator. The reason why this has to be so high is because there's a big warp barrier of death that'll grab you if you go too low. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now our trajectory is right around, gonna land like right here. There's a big invisible ceiling here. And what we're aiming for is this sort of grate thing here. You can drop down right here. There's some ledges that you might catch yourself on. And now we're here. We're actually going to activate the boss fight from the other side of the cutscene trigger, which is kind of funny. Do I have no target on? No, I have no target on. Skip cutscene. Now our best friend, Phase 1 Gladiator. This guy can be kind of annoying. So what you want to do, as soon as you go in here, dash dash, IDKFA. When he's on half health, he'll falter. And then boom. Now his behavior is more consistent on a restart mission rather than a load checkpoint. He actually starts moving quicker on load checkpoint. So I'm just gonna right at the cutscene trigger, I'm gonna save my location to demonstrate this Phase 1 Gladiator. So during that boost, I whip out the heavy cannon so that you're ready. He'll falter on half health, and then boom. Sometimes he's just feeling mean and just doesn't falter. Such as Doom. This is what we signed up for as Doom speedrunners, unfortunately. Enemies just sometimes don't falter. More often than not, he will falter on half health. Good way to ensure that is make sure that you're right behind him, sort of on the left side. So his rotation is as long as possible. Now for the second phase, I'm going to dash straight into him while holding IDKFA. The dashing straight into him is going to bait out a melee attack so that I can keep hitting him and so he doesn't bring out his shield. And he'll falter, and while he's faltering, I'm going to back up and grab more precision bolt ammo so that I can keep IDKFAing him. So bait out the melee attack. And boom. So I had infinite ammo on because for tutorial purposes, but I was running over these ammos here. That'll give you way more than enough ammo to completely decimate him. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this game's glitchy. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Ah, there it is. You see that? See the blood splatters? You don't want that to happen. Your precision bolts are terminating there. So what's happening is the hitbox of the Phase 1 Gladiator is actually right here. I can't move here. I can't move forward because this game sucks and just leaves the Phase 1 Gladiator here. It's kind of funny, but also very annoying because more often than not, he's going to be here. And, you know, that little bit will be in your line of sight. Try to avoid that Keep in mind like where the Phase 1 Gladiator died. It's right around this area, and try to avoid that. Yeah, now we're done. IDKFA is very hyped for this level in particular. Get to watch a sick glory kill until we find a way to skip it. Now the inputs here are going to be R space space. The reason why it's space space rather than just holding down space is so that you'll get through the weapon point animation faster on bosses. You do that also on the con maker. And just like I did for the Doom Hunter fight, actually. Now for here, we're gonna refill our BFG. For this, let me actually... I'll turn off no target and turn off infinite ammo. So I can show you the actual refilling of the BFG. So, what we're gonna do is skip cutscene, immediately swap to the BFG, and as the BFG is ballooning out, do a normal load checkpoint. BFG is ballooning out, load checkpoint. You notice I used the BFG shot. My BFG ammo is at 30. You're right here. It's gonna activate this cutscene. And boom. Not only did that, like, just do that really fast, but it also refilled your BFG. That's just a free BFG shot if you load checkpoint there. There's another one that we're gonna do in the next level, Taurus, at the end of the level, to refill BFG. Now, if you use the extra life and you haven't actually lost your extra life, another thing for timing that you can use is as soon as you see the extra life counter show up on your screen, load checkpoint. That's another thing you do, but if you don't grab the extra life, then watch the BFG ballooning out. Now for Taurus Nabad, we're gonna start out with some Ballista boosts. You can do all sorts of different movement variations. I like to Ballista, jump Ballista, bunny hop, jump Ballista. Kill that guy. IDKFA, IDKFA, punch, punch, chainsaw. Now, this Marauder that's on the other side of the door, we're gonna do the ice bomb trick on him. So, lob an ice bomb over his head. He's a dummy, so he shields it. And that's it. He shields the ice bomb because he's scared of the cold or something. And then, because his shield is upwards, you can just kill him with IDKFA. Target back on. So now, from there, the wall that was here is going to despawn. Do 2 Ballista boosts here. I recommend killing this guy because he's very annoying. And we're going to do another zip. This is another 60 FPS zip, just like the Rivatuner one. And the lineup is very imprecise. All you need to do is just stand here, press D until you're about this location. If you want to do like a very consistent, like same lineup every time, you want to be like sort of above the crack on the railing there. Hold D until you're here, until your crosshair is touching this line here. Look at this sort of light triangle by the leaves. Make sure you're on 60 FPS, either using Rivatuner hotkey handler or using auto hotkey with Rivatuner, and then boom. This sends us through the death warp that's there, and now we're out of bounds. One thing to note is that if you jump down here, you'll hit it. So make sure you, make sure you do not do that. Again, just to show that this zip is like pretty imprecise, I'm in a very different location here. And boom. You can set that up extremely fast because of its imprecise. So now go back up to 250 FPS. You're right here. Walk forward just a little bit. Then go to the right. And you'll see, once you cross this this sort of wall with no collision, you'll see these rocks. Walk forward, so you jump off, double jump, Ballista boost backwards, and now you're here. Let me do that one more time. It's a little hard to, like, see everything that's happening with the all the out of bounds nonsense. Where am I? Zip. Forward, right, fall off, double jump, Ballista boost, and land on this ledge here. Now, once you're here, you're gonna prime a slope boost. This is just a normal standard slope boost. Fall off the jump extension. Boom. Gonna hit a ceiling here. We're gonna do 3 Ballista boosts, punch canceled, in this direction. Now, I think I used 1 extra Ballista when I was demonstrating something for another time. Or you should have 1 more Ballista shot here. I'm just gonna give myself ammo. Yeah, I did the out of bounds movement to the slope boost twice. So you should have 1 more Ballista shot. Once you're here, curve around. Make sure to avoid this green cloud. If you get too close to it, especially if you're in like midair, you're gonna be swimming while you're here, and this nonsense is gonna happen. Look, what is Doom Guy doing right now? This is actually like really annoying because you need to load checkpoint at this point if this happens. Which puts you all the way back here, which is a lot of time loss. So I'm just gonna go here. So once you do those 3 Ballista boosts, avoiding that green cloud of nonsense, you're gonna see this huge plate here. You're gonna go underneath it, and I'm gonna do a fast fall. A fast fall is just, you're on a ledge, you dash off of it, and you have a lot of velocity downwards, more so than just normally falling. So, dash, and we're just gonna fall down here and hit this warp. Now, another thing to note is that during this warp, as soon as the screen goes black, hold down dash. You get a lot of dashes. Dashes just like instantly refill when you're during a death warp. So just hold down dash to bring yourself a little bit closer, Ballista boost, and open this. Now I have no target on to demonstrate this fight. This fight's a whole lot of RNG, but here's the general route. Chop this Whiplash. For consistency, you don't need to kill this Kako, but I like to kill the Kako because he's mean and likes to mess up my BFGs. So as soon as you chop the Whiplash with the Crucible, you're going to see somewhere his spawn location is random. You're going to see a Dread Knight spawn, and somewhere else is also a Pinky spawn. Oops. I'm not sure where the Pinky spawn, but both of their spawn locations are random. As soon as they spawn, aim right at this branch here in BFG. That will get those guys. And the important thing here is that it also kills that Pain Elemental that spawns. Now, with the Pain Elemental dead, there's going to be 2 Barons. Note that if the Pain Elemental doesn't die, only 1 Baron is going to spawn. Which is why we want the Pain Elemental to die, because these guys' spawns are staggered. They'll start out with just Pain Elemental plus Baron. As soon as one of them dies, the Baron will spawn. And as soon as one of the Baron dies, or as soon as the next Super Heavy dies, an Archvile is going to spawn. And there's 3 locations where the Archvile can spawn. There, by that Crucible charge, and then here, right on this Crucible charge. Now, if the Archvile spawns there, hit him with the Crucible. If the Archvile spawns there, you can BFG the wall, and the splash damage will kill him. If he spawns here, you can also BFG the back of this wall, aim sort of at that skull, a little bit above the skull maybe. Now, as soon as I chop this Baron, the Archvile is going to spawn. You'll see where he spawns. There. So here, This is a good spot for the Archvile. These are the two good spots, because he'll pretty consistently die from splash damage. If he spawns here, this wall's really weird, and he just will not die from the BFG. I actually lost a run recently, a minus 46-second run, due to that happening. I tried to BFG the Archvile when he spawned here, and he just didn't die. And he spawned a ton of enemies, and run was over. So definitely chop the Archvile if he's here, with that Crucible there. Here, I'm aiming here. That time he died from tendril damage, however, he'll also die from the splash damage. And that's the fight over. Now, because I'm in no target, it didn't give me the checkpoint, which is really nice, but I'll show you this in real time now. One thing that's really nice is slope boost off of this to get a good vantage point so you can see where everything's spawning. That time the Pan Elemental didn't die, so only one Baron spawned. Chop the Baron. Chop this Baron. Archvile spawned here. And now we're going to do another BFG refill. Stand right on this chain here. That chain link that I just got. That I was standing on. You need to camp the portal for this. It is going to refill 2 BFGs. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to escape, left, enter, while these icons are showing up on the screen. I wish there was a better way to show this for the tutorial, but I'm going to do this once. I'm going to escape, left, enter, while the middle icon is showing up. So there's an icon for combat on the left, and then challenges, and then collectibles, I believe. The middle one, whichever one that is, as soon as that shows up, I'm going to escape, left, enter, and then go back into the game. Now, if you notice, I had 0 BFG at the end there. Now I have 60. So what that does, it reverts your all of your ammo to a state before the fight. So I had 60 BFG before the fight. At the previous checkpoint before the fight, that is. So it gave me 60 BFG. I had 100 Ballista there, so it gave me 100 Ballista. Even though I actually used all of my Ballista out of bounds. In the previous checkpoint, I had 100 Ballista. The previous checkpoint being after I killed the Marauder. So that's a neat little way of cheesing 2 BFGs. And we're going to use these 2 BFGs in an upcoming level. Nekravol 2, that is. And the next one's Nekravol 1. This one's a pretty short level, about 30 seconds. What we're going to do here is immediately hold R to skip the cutscene. And as soon as the cutscene is skipped, make sure you reload. For some reason, in Nekravol 2, the movement lock at the beginning of the level after the cutscene is twice as long as other ones. So it's fast to reload here, so that your movement lock is only 1 second rather than 2 seconds. It's really funky, I know, but like, that's just how Nekravol 1 is, I guess. Now, our next destination is that right there. To get there as fast as possible, we're going to do a, I guess I would consider this a double momentum slope boost. So if you were to just do normal jump extension, if you remember the Exultia boost towards the end, where we have we hold down S and D during the boost, and it sends us flying in a direction. This, I have momentum backwards, or in the diagonal there. We're going to do that twice. We're going to do it off of this, and also off of this, as we're still boosting up. And that's going to give us a lot of speed that direction. Now what I like to do, this is, there is a lineup that you could do, looking at the tip of this rock. However, I like to be able to look downwards. Just have this be diagonal, and be rubbing against this pole a little bit. See, my my crosshair is sort of like in line with this. S plus D. Oh, it didn't work there. I was a little bit too far forward there. S plus D. and boom. You can see I sort of shifted twice there. There was one shift when I crossed this curvature here, and another shift when I crossed that. That's what's giving you all the speed here. Ballista boost, and you're gonna fly all the way straight here, and you're gonna be in this area. That's a really, really neat boost there. So the next one, we're going to get out of bounds using a hole in the collision right here. So this looks solid, but in reality, you can just mantle here. And boom. You don't actually need the mantle. However, I highly recommend mantling so that you can do the fast ballista, the BATS ballista canceling there. So I'm holding heavy cannon right now. And during the mantling, press the ballista hotkey, or the ballista button, and now the ballista is charged up and ready to go. I'm going to have infinite ammo so I can show this. Now I have really fast ballista punch swaps. So once you're here, back up just a little bit, and land on this little lip here. Now I line myself sort of perpendicular here, and look at this line. Save location. There's kind of a weird boost. There's just a normal slope boost, but we're gonna ballista backwards. If you don't ballista backwards, you'll just bonk your head. And that hurts. Don't get a headache. So you're gonna ballista backwards so that you can avoid the bonk there. Whoops, I didn't actually shoot the gun. And then as soon as you actually ballista backwards and you're in midair, I'll show you where to shoot. I didn't shoot again. There we go. So once you're in midair, aim for this whole structure here, and just unload all the rest of your ballista here. And then from there, it's just going to the end of the level. Boom, boom, boom. I believe it's 5 shots. Should land on this big white plane here. If you land on the white plane, do a fast fall downwards. Land on here. And that's the end of the level trigger down that hallway. If you don't land on the white plane, if you get like a ton of height, and then you you can't land on this, it'll be faster to just land directly on this. That could be a little bit tricky because the game will actually get rid of all of your air control. You really need to line it up pretty soon while you're in midair. If you want to be completely safe, then even if you have a super high boost, then just try to land on the edge. Fast fall down, you're not going to lose much time. You can bunny hop on this and go straight here. If you bonk your head on that, there's some weird collision here that you can wall dash on. Note that I'm in the ground right now. Like the actual collision does not match what you're looking at sort of at all in this hallway. And that's the end of Nekravol 1. Now for Nekravol 2, what we're going to do is just immediately ballista boost. Dash dash. Now, we put on no target so these guys don't annoy me. There's a hole in the geometry right here. You see this sort of upside down V shape right here? Aim for that, and we're going to slope boost to it. So tap macro. This sort of ramped surface you can slope boost on. You can see there. Tap macro. 2 ballista boosts. And you're through the geometry. You want to land. You're going to see this arena in midair. It's a little hard to see because it's so dark, but there's a black rectangle right here. Land on the left side of it. Right here. And look this way. We're going to do a massive slope boost all the way to the final arena. So there isn't really You don't have to like precisely line it up or anything, but you want to look just sort of in this corner. Whoops. Hold down S. That's really important. Make sure you're holding down S while you're doing this, because there's a lot of geometry up there that you don't want to hit. So if you're holding down S during the boost, you'll have just that edge of momentum so that you don't hit all of this nonsense that's up there. And just like in Nekravol 1, we're going to be boosting immediately. You can see I was moving backwards. Now, we're here. I just put no clip so you can see like the surroundings here. Yeah, that's better. You can see this hallway here. Sometimes your boost is a little short, and usually you'll be able to land on this. As a backup, you can just land on this, do a slope boost without weapon wheel, just to get up. And there is a death plane that we want to hit there. You're going to be hitting this straight from the mega slope boost, right here, and then immediately load checkpoint. Now the route for this fight, and I believe this is the fastest way you can do this. We're gonna do an animation cancel on the tyrant. So really just, when you load checkpoint, just dash, look upwards, boom. You get to crucible the tyrant without having the whole 3-second long animation. Now from there, fast fall down this, and while you're in the fast fall, I'll do that again. Shoot the BFG. Boom. Then shoot the BFG again. We're gonna use 3 BFGs in this fight. Now you can see, usually actually, if you're ever consistent 250 FPS, usually this Baron will die. Sometimes he just doesn't, because BFG damage is pretty random. So make sure you just IDKFA him to be safe. That Kako will spawn there. Now we see a Kako spawns there, and a Doom Hunter spawns there. I have infinite ammo on, so I didn't pick up that BFG, but make sure that you pick up that BFG. Because that's important. You have 0 BFG ammo at this point. Pick that up. While that Doom Hunter is spawning, shoot the BFG right at this skull here, and then fast fall down. Ice bomb the ground, and then chop him. And that's it. That's the end of the level. You want to hit those circles, Ballista boost this way, here. At this point, if everything went well, you should have 3 Ballista boosts. 2 or 3 maybe. Usually I have 3 here. Slope boost here. 1, 2, 3. Now for this, you want to be standing like right here. And then you're going to punch this. I'm going to hold down A and immediately dash to the side. That actually puts 2 cutscenes together and allows us to like skip one of them by just having 2 of them play at the same time. Now there is actually another route for this whole level. It lets us bypass the reload checkpoint that was at the fight. And I'm going to show you that right now. It's a little tricky and a little inconsistent. If you do things slow, like if you set up the big slope boost too slow, this is not going to work for spawn cap reasons. The reason why you need to reload checkpoint up there is because there's too many enemies down here, and it'll soft lock you up there and just not spawn any enemies. But if we kill enough enemies down here, then we can bypass the reload up there. So what I'm gonna do is Ballista, rocket, fire rocket at the mecha that spawns there. Do the normal shenanigans here. Do this as fast as possible. My slope boost was short, whatever. This is a demonstration swing. Now you don't need to reload, and you can actually just kill the tyrant while he's still spawning. You can see there, I slash canceled the tyrant while he was still jumping up. That's something really cool that you could do that'll save actually a kind of decent chunk of time. The reason why you can do that is because when you hit the death loop, you have infinite dashes as long as you have the black string. So you can just hold down dash, you're down here, and then slash cancel. Immediately BFG, do the normal double BFG. And if everything went well, this cackle will spawn. Pick up that BFG. Everything didn't go well because I was slowing things down for demonstration. However, if you did things a little bit faster than I just did, this cackle will spawn, and then you'll be fine. I'm just gonna load checkpoint because that's a soft lock right there, which is why this strat is a little bit more dangerous. However, if you can consistently do the beginning of the level fast, then this will be good for you. Let's just review the fight. Slash cancel. BFG. BFG. The Baron spawn location is random, so make sure you watch out for the really big red thing there. You shoot this BFG pretty early. Ice bomb, chop, and you're done. The really fun fight route. We like to call it the anime fight route. Now for this again, I'm going to hold down A, dash dash, and that's it. Hold down R, and that's the end of Nekravol 2. Now Urdak, we're going to set up, for Urdak, we're going to set up another fast Ballista punch swap thing. So, what I like to do for this, immediately look this way, whip out heavy cannon, dash dash, look this way, mantle on this, and during the mantle animation, swap the Ballista, and now your Ballista is now on drugs. From here, do a big old slope boost, and punch cancel in the direction of these asteroids that I'm aiming at there. I have infinite ammo, so I did way too many boosts there. But you can see where I was aiming there. We'll do it one more time, and this time not have infinite ammo. Swap the heavy cannon, dash dash. Prime the Ballista with the mantle. Big slope boost. Turn about 90 degrees to this. To those asteroids that I was aiming at. And this should put you in a pretty good trajectory for the end fight. Now you can see this box right here that keeps flashing in and out of existence as I move my mouse. That's what you want to be aiming for. That's where the con maker fight starts. Where am I? Oh, okay. Yeah, right where that box is. There's a pillar. Perfectly, you would want to land right in the center here. Then I'll immediately trigger the fight. If you land out here, don't worry, just enter here. Now for the con maker, we're going to, I have no target on right now so that she doesn't move. But immediately when you're out of the cutscene, like the tap macro, hold IDKFA until she's just about to die. And then let her move a little bit. If you let her move a little bit, you're, if you kill her too soon in her first phase, she'll start acting really, really, really weird. And I'll demonstrate that for you in a second. But she's on barely any health. She moved. Now you can do your normal stuff. This fight's pretty straightforward. Just IDKFA and blood punch. Blood punch. If you're running low on ammo, there's a PB pickup here. Optimally, you want to aim right at the orb in her chest, because that does the most damage. There's going to be these maker drones following her around everywhere for more ammo. Now, before I do the last phase, I'll show you what happens if you don't, if you just immediately kill her. So if you just immediately kill her, she starts acting really weird. She's not supposed to be able to attack yet, and yes, she does. And then she'll bounce backwards like that, making it really hard to actually get a blood punch on her. So for consistency, definitely don't do that. It's really hard to get the blood punch at the right time, because now she's all the way back there. Also important to note that she has, for each Hello? Blood punch? Okay. For each phase, she has an invulnerability period that ends roughly whenever she starts moving. So a little bit after that, I think. So that's optimally when you want to start IDKFA here. Skip the cutscene. Space. Space. And now we're in Final Sin. Final Sin's very straightforward. It's very similar to Urdak. It's just big slope boost, ton of Ballista punch cancels, straight to the boss. So immediately whip out the Ballista. Dash, dash. I did that bad. Let me redeem myself. Ballista. Dash, dash. Ballista towards that door. Now that you're over here, big slope boost. Now aim for... This one's no clip. There it is. This general area doesn't matter a ton if you're good at... If you can, like, strafe roll in the air. However, you want to aim in, like, this general area and just spam all your ballistas. Do that in real time here. Now from here, this is a pretty good height. I'm going to use a double jump for safety. Now there's a lot of different things that can happen based on your height there. That time, I sort of hit something here, I banked off of it, hit a wall, and then went straight down. That's fine, because I like hit this thing. I hit some ledge up here. Now you're here. A lot of other things that can happen, and I'll show you some backups and stuff. If your boost is just way too short, you land here. Make sure you don't fall down. Just slow boost and use the walls as backup. Another thing that can happen is if you're way too high, there's a weird ceiling up here. This is kind of the worst case scenario for this boost. Excuse me. Yeah. So you can see there's a ceiling here. It's sort of slanted diagonally. Like I'm kind of moving, my cursor's moving upwards there. And the ceiling ends right here. Not in there. And a different part of the ceiling than I thought. Did I have all the way back here? Yeah. Oh, okay. It ends all the way back here. So from here, if you're doing this as a backup and not just resetting, you can bunny hop. And, I've had it before where I get the bunny hop and I can get straight to this wall. Obviously very much not ideal because you're just walking backwards on this weird ceiling and then doing this instead of hole-in-oneing right here. One tip, if you want to get the hole-in-one more consistent, is aim more for this. This is a solid surface here. And just like what we did in Exultia, there's like a wall sort of like here. Just like what we did in Exultia, where we're banking off the walls to keep our momentum. At this point, the game is getting rid of our air control in the jump. So you want to hit the wall and sort of bank off like that. And that'll, that's what I usually do to more consistently get this. So once you're here, if you grab the BFG in Con Maker, there's a BFG in the arena of Con Maker. If you grabbed it, you'll have 30 ammo. If you didn't, you'll have 0, obviously. Pick up this BFG. Now, immediately we're going to skip the cutscene and IDKFA the arms. This saves probably I think it's like 2 seconds, because if you kill the arms before everything else, the breaking animation will actually start sooner. Arms, arm, Now from here, this fight is just a complete auto-scroller at this point. It doesn't matter what order you kill things in, as long as you kill them before he can get an attack out. As long as he's only doing breaking animations. It's really nice to have an auto-scroller boss at the end of the run. But for this, I just recommend just spamming chainsaw on these zombies. And IDKFAing everything. Make sure that once you get all of the parts broken, chainsaw twice so you have all 90 heavy cannon ammo. And pick up these 2 BFGs. It's gonna make the next phase easier. And if you want to, there's some chainsaw up here that you can grab if you need. Now, as soon as the screen fades back here, and you see the portal animation, load checkpoint. This will reduce the amount of time that this phase takes. For this phase, he has a certain amount of animations that he does. So as long as you kill every body part before his final, like, deterministic animation, then you're golden. So the way that I do this, the route that I take for this, you can take any route that you want as long as you're killing things fast enough. What I like to do is BFG his stomach, aim here to BFG this pectoral, aim here for the other one. Notice that I aimed in the middle of his chest. Oh, I missed it. Dang. That's okay though, because we have IDKFA. IDKFA, the right arm, both parts. And then when he's doing this, BFG, that'll get the shoulder. Crucible this arm. Now if something went wrong, like something went wrong here, don't worry, like he still has a few more animations to do. You can chainsaw something here. And that's it. GG. Now if you want to show off your slope boosting skills, you can slope boost up here. And then, I did it too slow. Yeah. And that's the end. Apparently you can't skip this cutscene. GG's.
Hey, we're all done here?
Yes.
Cool, cool. Well, I guess that gets the tutorial just under 3 hours. You can run any percent. It's
Yep.
true.
That was definitely a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be, actually.
Yeah, I thought it would take upwards of 4 hours, but that's actually pretty good time.
Yeah,
Well,
the early levels, there was a lot to talk about with the early levels, so I thought those were going to be like 3/4 of it.
well, that will be good. I'm pretty sure we'll have this VOD uploaded sometime soon so that everyone can learn how to, speedrun this category if they wish to. But thanks everybody for coming. Let's depart y'all with someone else. Oh, you know who? Wait, actually, Dara is still alive.
Who are
What
you?
the heck?
Oh, Dara.
Yeah, let's raid. Let's give Dara a raid.
Awesome.
So yeah, people, thank you all for stopping by. Hope you all have a good one. Paisano, any closing words?
I hope I see more any percent runners. It can't just be me, Dr. Los Angeles, and Kalthas.
Well, this is a great step into doing that. So, adios, everybody. See you in the next tutorial or whatever we do. And bam. That's how you hit the raid button.
Here's how you hit the stop streaming button.